Oi, gente, sou a Evelyn Rodrigues, estou aqui em Las Vegas. Vou conversar hoje com o presidente do UFC, Dana White, para falar sobre o UFC São Paulo, que acontece neste sábado no Ginásio do Ibirapuera. So, Dana, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thanks for having me.
UFC is going back to Brazil this Saturday. We have Jailton Almeida facing Derek Lewis, and you've been praising Almeida for a while now. Do you think he has the potential to become a star?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, what's going on right now in Brazil is we're going through this cycle. You know, it happens in Canada, it happens in Europe and different places, the UK. You get these big stars like Conor McGregor that blows up. You get the GSPs, and one of the things that's always been the truth about Brazil is there's just so much talent that comes out of Brazil. But we're looking for those superstars. When you think back to the day of, Anderson Silva and Shogun Rua, Vanderlei Silva, and the list goes on and on with Vitor Belfort. When you had all these big megastars coming out of Brazil, we're looking for that new, era of superstar in Brazil. And this fight's got a lot of people that have potential on it. And Almeida is one of them. Getting back to the question you answered me, but yes, Almeida is one of them. This guy is a absolute stud, and he's going in against Derek Lewis, who's been a force in the heavyweight division for a long time. So we're going to find out this weekend.
How do you see that fight playing out? Because he changed opponents. He was supposed to fight Curtis Blades first, and then got replaced for Derek Lewis.
Well, there's been a lot of that going on lately. So we're going through. I can't remember what year it was. I want to say it was like 13 or 14. We went through this whole injury bug, where, and it wasn't like the prelims, the main and co-main were falling apart. And then it didn't happen for a long time, and it's starting to happen again for some reason. But it's just something. We'll get through it. We got through it last time. We'll get through it again.
What about Almeida makes him so special? Talking about his style,
I like everything about him. I like the fact that he's big, he's aggressive, he's powerful. He can stand, he can go to the ground. He's what you want. And a heavyweight, and he's Brazilian.
It's a weird time. I mean, a good time also for the division right now. He's facing Derek Lewis, who also has the record for most knockouts and finishes in the heavyweight division. If he gets a good win, where do you think that puts him in the division? Especially now with John Jones recovering from the injury and the interim bout, in line next week.
Well, what starts to happen for him now is he we already know that he's talented. We already know what he can do. Now you start taking out the names that people recognize. If he can beat a Derek Lewis, which now gets him a fight with probably Curtis Blades after this. When Blades is back, you take out a Curtis Blades and you start to, you work your way up to these big names now to start beating. Then you start to make a name.
I don't know if you know this, but we have 12 Brazilians fighting this Saturday in São Paulo. 8 of them came from the Dana White Contender Series. Can you talk about the role of the show in the influx of new talent, especially when it comes?
Well, if I took you in the war room right now and you looked at across the board, so if they fought on the Contender Series, there's these little blue checks that say CS. If they fought on the Ultimate Fighter, they're red. And if they came off looking for a fight, I think it's black. The whole board is covered with blue Contender Series. I mean, the Contender Series has been an unbelievable fast track to making it into the UFC and making a name for yourself. Millions of people know who you are before you ever have your first fight in the UFC. And it's kind of cool because when you come over and you fight at the Apex, the way that it's set up, it's almost like you kind of get that first UFC fight under your belt. Even though it's not UFC, you kind of get that feeling. You get the nerves and all the things that you have. The only thing that you're going to have to deal with now is you've got to go in and face the crowd. I mean, you're going in with 18, 20,000 people, which is, an experience in itself.
If you want to send a message to Brazilian fans and everybody who's watching this interview.
Yeah, I didn't forget about you, Brazil. I love you. I'm coming. We're working on building the talent down there. We're working on more shows to come to Brazil. And depending on how this weekend goes, this weekend's a big weekend for UFC Brazil because All this talent that we have high hopes for. We're going to see how they do this weekend. And then off of this, we will start building bigger and bigger events down in Brazil.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.